Alright everybody, today I'm going to start out something new. This will be under the projects of the Projects and Adventures. And through my job, I've recently come into a large supply of 223 brass. I've tumbled it and cleaned it and gotten all the media out of it, but I still have the old primers in it. I've never reloaded before, so I went by Shields and I picked up everything they said I would need. So I have a scale for checking the powder loads. I have the die set. I have a caliber conversion kit. I have my first batch of bullets for the 223, and I have small rifle primers. And I have the Dillon Precision RL55C, which I'm going to unpackage and probably attach to my little desk here that I've got along the wall. And we're going to see how the whole reloading thing goes. Like I said, I've never done this before, but we'll give it a shot. With being able to get the brass at pretty much free, I'm going to save a good bit of money on the reloading end. So, open this up. Follow my way through the instructions as I go. And I've got about, I'd say about 3,000 rounds to reload. So, I have no idea what any of this stuff is yet. But I'm going to go ahead and pull it all out, get the instruction book out, and I'll keep you up to date as I figure out the reloading part of it. And there is the press itself and all the supplies. Okay, so I made a little progress here. So for now, I'm bolting it to my workbench here where I was doing my cleaning. Still got the room for the cleaning pad and to clean shotgun or rifle or pistols, whichever I put up there. For now, it's attached to a 3/4 inch, fairly heavy duty plywood. We'll see how that goes. If I need to, I'll reinforce the bench. It's pretty sturdy, but it might not be sturdy enough for this setup. So I guess we'll find out. This is, once again, my first shot at it. Pre-drilled the bolts in and got it all hooked up. And I'll keep working on it probably tomorrow morning. Oh yeah, I took a little break from unpacking some of this reloader, but let's find out what else we got in the box. It's like a toolkit. Not sure what that is yet. Read the instructions. This, I believe, is part of the powder assembly. In a box. Okay, so the first thing it has me doing is attaching the handle to the assembly. And that has its own lock washer at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that up. So then next, after you get the handle on and tightened, there is a spent primer cup that hooks onto a little triangle wedge right there. So that's pretty easy. Okay, so then next there is this little wire guide for the primer to operate the deprimer. Put that in there, you slide this about halfway down and it'll pop right into that little spot there and hold it in place as it operates. Okay, so the next part is there's a spring and a ball bearing that go there on the on this plate here. And then what you have to do is you have to get a caliber conversion kit, which I'd already bought at Shields. I already have that. So then that plate goes on that same spot there. And then after that, there's this sprocket that goes in, and it will fall into the 4 holes on the top of the conversion kit. And then there's a bolt that will slide right in through the center here. Pull it it back a little bit so you can see. Maybe I will. Anyway, that bolt slides in there, goes all the way down as you can see, and then you start hand tightening it. And then there's a hex tool that you can finish tightening that part with. Okay, next there is a set screw with a hex head on it that goes into that little hole right there and keeps things from loosening up when they shouldn't. Okay, so once that set screw is tightened, the last part of that conversion kit was these 3 little brass holders. You put those into the only spots that they will fit on that plate there. Okay, so next I removed the rubber band that held this die in place here. It was just wound around these. And then I have to pull these 2 hex screws out of the powder assembly so that I can install that. Alright everybody, I've been working on a project for almost 6 months now, trying to get it figured out just when I had time. And I'll do the unboxing part of it. I'll show you that too. But this is a Dillon Reloader. It took me forever to get it set up. I bought it actually last fall, meaning to set it up during the winter, and then we didn't have much of a winter, which was kind of odd for this area. But I want to reload. I got a good supply of once fired brass, which doesn't really need to be resized that much. So I wanted to get the reloader because I've got several thousand empty brass, which is like a 20 cents a piece if you buy them. But a couple of things I want to point out to you. First, get on Dillon. If you buy this setup, this is the 550C. Get on Dillon's website and watch their setup videos. And as you set it up, just step by step with their setup video. Also, I tried buying the RCBS dies because they said they were universal. Now the dies do fit into these slots here, but we could not get the bullet set one, which is over here, to set the bullets right. They kept pulling out. You could actually pull them out by hand, and we could not, no matter how far we cranked it down, get that to set. I went and bought the Dillon dies. Problem went away immediately. So you have primer, deprimer, and a little bit of a desizer or a resizer here. Powder drop here, of course, and you adjust the powder drop with this bolt here on the side. I've set mine to right around 22.5, and I check it every 30-40 rounds. And then you have the bullet set right here. And then you've got a crimping die right here just to put a slight crimp on it. I don't put a lot of crimp on it, just a tiny little bit. And in order to measure that, if you're going to get into reloading, I just bought basic Berry's jacketed bullets. I'm doing 223, so that's what I bought. Buy a little bit of this spray case lube, because when you're running the cases in and out of the dies, you will get them stuck and you don't want to have to pull those out. But also buy a digital caliper. I just bought the Hornady one, but that helped me measure the cases to make sure I was actually putting the bullets into the right size. These are my test cases over here. So I guess none of these have powder in them. Some of them have primer, some don't. But that's where I was trying to get the bullets to set right. So buy a digital caliper. Also buy a scale so that you can continually check that primer or the powder drop. You don't want to drop too much powder in. Wherever you buy your stuff, they should have a guide. I just snapped a picture of it. And then I took the powder that I had bought, this TAC smokeless powder. It's ram shot, but it's the TAC version. And I did the calculation based on that. Now what I am going to say is the deprimer works great. You pull down here. That's got a fresh primer. I don't want that. Anyway, let's see if I have an empty case here. Okay, that one's got a primer that needs to come out. So the deprimer works great. So you slide that in there, and that wire will pop over and hold it in place. And then as it comes up, it deprimes it real easy. Which I say that now, it's not going to do it. There, it's deprimed. As I drop it back down, it drops the primer into that little case there. See? Problem is you're supposed to push this lever forward now to reprime it. I'm not getting the primers to seat properly when I do that. So I've been taking them out, unprimed, and then I've been taking my hand drill and just tapping the edge of it right around there with a bigger drill bit, just to add a little bit of an angle to guide the primer in, because for some reason I cannot get the primers I bought, which are these CCI primers here, to set in there. I was literally losing 1 out of every 5. They were crimping off to the side a little bit, and the primers were shot down. I'm like, this doesn't do me any good if I'm trying to reload and I'm wasting 20% of my primers. These things are not cheap. I can't lose that many of them. So what I did was I deprimed them, dumped them in a bucket, and then just barely hit them with the drill bit just to create a little bit of an angle on it. And I could do that while I was watching TV. And then I bought a hand primer. So you slide the bullet in. There's a tray that holds the primers. You slide this in there. And then as I'm squeezing, I can feel if the primer's going in right or not. And if the primer's not going in, then I can take this out and I can tap it with the drill bit just a little more and get those to go in. Now I've got a bucket over here of primed ones. The primers are going in fine now. I'm getting nice smooth setting. They say if you need to be able to set them down here and not have any, them not to be tippy at all. So obviously that's not a perfectly flat surface, but they stand up nice, so they're good. And I've reloaded about, I don't know, 400, and I just pulled random 10 out and fired them through the AR, and they fired just fine. Seemed to be accurate. I was able to knock down, pop cans and stuff at 110 feet. I'm going to go back further now and see how the accuracy as I work my way out farther. But I just brought and I actually did buy the RCBS hand primer. This thing was a few bucks, but it works pretty slick, and I did this whole bucket, which was probably 350 rounds in probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then I've just been reloading them. But like I said, just standard, just your basic 55 grain jacketed boat tail, and I just wanted range rounds pretty much is all I'm looking for. So, oops, gotta be careful now. And then if you are going to reload, go ahead and spray it with the case lube. So I put, before I get ready to de-primer them, because that seems to be the worst time, I put a whole batch of them on here, like that. And then I just spritz them with the lube. Roll them around in the rag a little bit. And I'm good to go. These are clean cases, obviously. I have the cleaner. I'll probably video that real quick tomorrow, but I'm cleaning maybe 100 at a time in there, maybe 80 at a time. I run them for about 3 hours, and they come out looking nice. Not quite brand new, but pretty darn close to it. So, like I said, my office is a mess right now. I'm in the middle of rebuilding it. But that is the Dillon reloader. And I'll show you what I've been reloading with it here. So I saved a bunch of empty boxes from Federal Premium. These were originally 69 grain, but I'm reloading 55 grain. I marked reloaded on it, and then saved the plastic cases so I could save them all nicely in there. And they come out great. Like I said, it's just a pretty basic range round right now, but now that I'm getting into it and actually understanding it, I may start playing with the accuracy a little bit and the powder charge in order to tweak like the accuracy and the feet per second and stuff. So if you're getting into it, Dillon's good, but like I said, get on their website and follow their video. We tried to follow some of the other videos on YouTube, and they're just not worth it. Just get on Dillon's website. There's a guy there that calls himself the living encyclopedia or something, and he does a great job explaining how to put it together. As I was putting it together, I watched the video like 3 times and finally got it all figured out. So we'll see you later, and go ahead and hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and with spring coming on, I got some really fun projects coming up. Like I said, including an outdoor cooking barrel, essentially. So we'll see you around. So then, since I have primered rounds here, I'll show you that. Since I have primer, I slide into the primered slot here, where normally you'd be reprimering, and then I turn it. And you hand turn this one, and then this is the powder set. It pulls the powder out of here, dumps it down there, turn it. Oops, sorry, I forgot to throw an extra round in there. I'll back it up and do it. Nice thing is, if I forget a step one in there, I can just back it up and redo it. And then I grab a bullet, set it right there, and I've been guiding it up, make sure it hits. So this does a step on every time I pull, it does each step. So there's a nice satisfying sound coming up right here. Clunk. Every time it does that, that's a reloaded round. They claim you can do 700 rounds in an hour. I don't know. The issues I was having was getting the primers to set. That seems a little optimistic to me. So, are you going to save a ton of money reloading your own? Probably not. But if we have an issue where things get scarce again, which considering what's going on in the world, this could very well be worth getting the setup. Problem sometimes is finding the powder. Primers and bullets. They can be kind of hard to find because there's a lot of people picking this stuff up for reloading. Alright, so like I said, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and looking forward to doing some more videos this summer.